Faced with the complex and severe foreign trade environment so far this year, China has effectively coordinated the COVID-19 control efforts with national socio-economic development. We achieved a steady growth of exports and imports in the first 8 months, with the growth rate reaching 10.1%.
We have now created nearly 10 million new jobs since I took office. The fastest growth in all of American history.
I have three priorities for our economy.
Giving as much to the wealthy as you do to the poor, which obviously can have an inflationary impact and therefore can just create further.
The last voice was the new British Prime Minister, Liz Truss. Her plan to deliver growth in part by cutting taxes spooked markets because they feared she'd have to borrow more to pay for it. Most economists say growth is good, but what's the formula for delivering it? Should taxes go up or down? Should governments spend or save? And who benefits when it gets going? Alternatively, should we pay more attention to those who argue the relentless pursuit of growth is ruining the planet?
We judge our success as a society by how much the economy grows. Unfortunately, we have a finite planet, and perpetual growth on a finite planet is a recipe for environmental ruin. So what we need to do is to put well-being, health, the protection of the living world at the heart of our economic and social life and build outwards from there.
So how should we measure growth? Would we be better off calculating the population's happiness or well-being instead? And what do the varying approaches to going for growth mean for you, your bank balance and your quality of life?
In having a setup such as that.
Whenever I think of economic growth, I imagine the notches on a door frame which marked my children's age and height. Getting bigger is basically what we're talking about, but it is a little bit more complicated than that. Let's meet the panel who will help us to understand what growth really means. Vicky Price is an economist. She was Director General for Economics at the Department for Business, Innovation and Skills here in the UK. She's also a former joint head of the UK Government Economic Service, where she was responsible for encouraging measures that promoted greater productivity in the UK economy. She joins us from Greece. Welcome to The Real Story, Vicky Price. A totally subjective answer is what I'm looking for to begin with. Can you think of a country that's got, from your point of view, the right approach to growth?
It's very interesting because there are a few countries one can think of, but I would go for a bulk of countries, the Nordic countries, the Scandinavian ones, which seem to have a much greater cohesion in their economies, a lot less inequality, and where growth has been consistent and doing really rather well and distributed properly among the population. A lot more cross-working between businesses and the governments, and if you look at them in terms of equality in relation to gender equality, for example, they seem to be at the top as well, and also in terms of overall happiness ratings.
Scandinavia gets Vicky's vote. Let's meet our next panellist, Desmond Lackman.
To raise interest rates, I think on the 3rd of November. Could it now go for a full percentage point rather than the 0.75% everyone's expecting?
Well, prior to yesterday's release, it was actually closer to 50 basis points, half a percentage point that was being priced in. But the market has now moved to price in that 75 basis points. That will be the 4th consecutive move of that size. And I think that they will do that. I don't think they'll go for the full percentage point at this stage. But what we do know is that after November's meeting, there will be more hikes on the way. The market is now pointing to a high of nearly 5% by the end of the first quarter. That compares to the 4.75% prediction by the Fed itself. I must admit, I do think they get to that 5% by the March meeting of next year.
But you, to be clear, you think that's the terminal rate? That's the moment that rates peak in this tightening cycle?
I do. But where I disagree from the market is there's still around about 0.75 percentage point of rate cuts priced in between next March and March 2024. I don't think the Fed's going to be cutting rates during that period at all. I think they'll get to the 5% and they'll hold rates there for more than the following 12 months.
And why do you think that's the case? Because you think the Fed will take a view that inflation is now so ingrained in the US economy?
Well, essentially, yes. I mean, when we look about the global inflationary pressures, that food and those energy pressures that I was talking about earlier, there's very little sign that we're going to get relief on that in the next 12 months to the end of next year. I do think that those pressures in energy, food, that's going to continue. We look at the shelter component of inflation, that's likely to continue rising into the end of the year. Yes, there may be some relief pushing into the middle of next year when it comes to rent and house prices. But the bottom line is these inflationary pressures are still going to be high enough for the Fed to keep rates on hold. Remember, the Fed's target is around 2%. So we're still talking a multiple of that, even with inflation coming down a little bit next year. So those pressures, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. This is more of a structural story at play, with supply chains and commodity prices really being the icing on the cake, as it were, for the inflation hawks out there.
I mean, Christian, Jay Powell, the Fed chair, has said he's prepared to risk a recession in order to combat inflation. I mean, we heard earlier this week the boss of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, saying he thought the US was heading for recession within 9 months. What's your sense?
Well, I think the Fed was about as clear as possible when Powell said it's going to be very painful. They know they're trying to drive the economy into a recession or a light recession because demand destruction is the only tool they have. But given the inelasticities of the main pressures, as I said, food, energy, housing, you have to consume all three of those. So really, it's about damaging demand in the rest of the economy. And you could argue that the US is in a technical recession at the moment, but really in the US, a true recession does have to be driven by the consumer. But I would say that is inevitable. Savings have already been eaten through. We're at levels below pre-COVID now. We know there's been a surge in borrowing in the US this year, but that's unsustainable from a consumer perspective. So I think the writing's on the wall, and a consumer-driven true recession in the US is going to happen next year. That being said, it will certainly be a lot milder than the recession we expect to see in the Eurozone and mainland Europe.
All right, Christian, got to leave it there. Thanks again for joining me so early your time.
Thanks a lot, Ian.
Some other stories for you now. Royal Mail has announced a consultation on job cuts that could see around 10,000 roles cut by the end of August next year. The company said it needed to right-size its business in response to the impact of recent industrial action, delays in delivering productivity improvements agreed with the workforce, and lower parcel volumes. Well, Royal Mail said it was currently expecting to report a full-year operating loss of around £350 million, which took into account the direct immediate impact of 8 days of industrial action by the Communication Workers Union that have either taken place or that have been notified to the company. It said this excluded any charges for voluntary redundancy costs and could increase to around a £450 million loss if customers took their business away for longer periods during the initial disruption. The chief executive and executive chairman of Revolution Beauty have agreed to step away from the day-to-day management of the business. Adam Minto and Tom Olsworth are doing so in order to support an independent investigation being carried out into the company's accounting practices. The investigation was ordered last month by Revolution Beauty's auditor after it refused to sign off on the online retailer's accounts and flagged a number of serious concerns. These included questions over the way Revolution Beauty had been booking sales. And Elon Musk is being investigated by federal authorities over his conduct during his proposed $44 billion takeover of Twitter. The revelation, get my teeth back in, was made in a court filing by the social media group made public last night. Twitter's lawyers have demanded copies of correspondence between the Tesla chief executive and the Securities and Exchange Commission, the main US financial regulator, and the Federal Trade Commission, which is the main US competition regulator. Well, Twitter has previously accused Mr. Musk of breaking financial regulations by failing to report in a timely manner that he'd bought a stake in the company. Now, you might think of the Royal Mint as simply producing Britain's coins, but it also produces coins for plenty of other countries around the world, and in recent times has diversified into producing precious metals investment products, jewellery and luxury collectibles. Today, it reported a pre-tax profit of £18 million for the year to the end of March, which was up 45% on the same period last year. Joining me now is the Chief Executive of the Royal Mint, Anne Jessup. Anne, welcome to you. I mean, I guess this diversification has really it almost seems like it's subsidising your traditional activities.
So 3 years ago, we recognised that people are using less coins, they're using different forms of payments, and therefore we embarked upon a strategy to transform the Royal Mint. We've been here 1,100 years, we wanted to carry on being here and being successful. And so we've been, over the past 3 years, we went into the strategy making a loss, and delighted to announce that we made £18 million last year. And really that's been a mixture of developing new things, growing internationally. We grew last year by 50% internationally, but also making sure that our coin area, which is absolutely still a key part of our business, could be as efficient as possible and really is right sized for the amount of demand that there is now in the world.
I mean, your currency business actually saw operating losses rise from £1.4 million to £4.5 million. Why was that? Is that just down to decreasing use of coins?
Two things: decreasing use of coins, but actually the price has reduced because across the world, even though there's less use of coins, most countries have a mint, and they're not a commercial organisation. And so we haven't seen any capacity reduce, even though there's smaller demand.
Has the decline in the use of coins intensified over the last 12 months?
Well, when we went into COVID, we saw a step change, and we thought that that step change would reduce by about 25%. It would be about 25% reduction. We've actually seen larger reduction than that. So it's about 35% between the start of COVID and now. Prior to that, it was actually reducing about 5% per year, and we're probably expecting that in the coming years.
Now, selling gold coins and bars is increasingly important for you as a business. Who's buying? Is it possible to say?
So right around the world, we're having people buying our precious metals. It's absolutely based on precious metals that are physical, that are here stored in our vault, or people can take delivery of it themselves. But one of the things that we have been focusing on is that in the UK, lots of people don't know that gold is something that people can buy as an investment. And particularly women don't invest very much at all in any type of thing. And so we've been working this year with an organisation that is really trying to encourage women in the UK to invest. And we've been talking about our investment in gold. We've also seen a lot of younger people move into investing in gold.
You're also in the process of opening a plant which is going to recycle gold from circuit boards. Is that going to be profitable from the get-go?
Absolutely, from the get-go. So that's opening at the end of this financial year. And we're really excited. This is part of our new 5-year strategy, which we've started this year. And that plant will recycle from electronics. It will recycle lots of different precious metals, and that will be really profitable. And it's just really great for the environment, because at any one time, there's 7% of the world's gold is in waste electronics. And currently, most of that electronics gets sent overseas, which isn't good for the environment, and it's smelted at high temperatures. Our new world first is actually going to do it in the UK at an ambient temperature. So it's a new type of chemistry which we've developed here in conjunction with a Canadian company.
Now, 50p coins featuring the new king are set to circulate, I think, from December. Which coins will be next after that?
So So you're absolutely right. There's a memorial coin on 50p that's going to circulate in December. After that, it will depend upon the demand within the cash system, which coins people want to have most first.
But I mean, the coins with the old Queen's head will be with us for many years to come. I mean, I remember as a kid having using coins with King George VI on, who was dead many years before I was born. Yeah,
absolutely. And thank you for mentioning that, because it's really important. People do know we're not going to take the coins with the late Queen out of circulation. There'll be totally coin circulation, and coins last for about 20 years. So you'll be seeing the late Majesty for at least 19 years on coins.
All right, I'm sure that will gladden the hearts of a lot of people watching today. And good to talk to you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Still to come here on Ian King Live. We're going to have a look at how global markets are doing this Friday morning. Don't go away.
Yeah, he's the youngest amputee to walk Snowdon. That was last year, the day after the Arwen storm.
Yeah. Wow. Goodness.
So, yeah, recently last week we just walked it again. And we getting in practice for Ben Nevis. He's won the whole thing.
That is
overall.
Absolutely amazing. Have you taken it into school to show them?
Not yet.
Not yet. You're going to though, yeah?
Yeah, we only got it last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, am I one of the first people to hold on to it? Overall winner.
Yeah.
Albie Junior Thomas. How cool is that? I know. I'd be a bit bashful. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for sharing that with us. So you're going to do Ben Nevis next, at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And then are you going to do Scarfell as well, which of course is in the Lake District, or do you not really fancy that one?
We're going bigger and bigger. So we're going to Tenerife next year.
Oh.
And what mountain we're working Mount Tidy.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And then he's talking about Mount Everest base camp already.
No. Are you really?
So, yeah.
God, that's amazing. When are you going to do that?
I
don't know.
We're going to hopefully do it in April, March time, Tenerife, and then start looking into the base camp.
Amazing.
Everest base camp, maybe
Fabulous.
next year. Yeah, so he's got a condition called fibula humedia, so he's missing the fibula bone.
Yeah.
And so he was born with a foot.
Yeah.
And there was an option to have his foot amputated or to keep his foot, but throughout his childhood they would have to have it pinned.
Yeah.
Numerous times, and we thought, me and his mother Rachel, we weren't for that idea, so we had his foot amputated, and
Well, as has been the case all week, it's the gilt market that continues to be the focus of attention this morning. Gilt yields have fallen sharply today as the market rallied on news that Kwasi Kwarteng has ended his trip to Washington a day early, fanning talk of another U-turn on the mini-budget. A short while ago, the yield on the 30-year gilt, you can see it on the screen there now, was 4.41%. Just 2 days ago, it hit a 20-year high of 5.1%. Well, on the foreign exchange markets, I think I can show you that. The pound is slightly weaker this morning against the US dollar. That is largely a reflection of dollar strength. Sterling off by 2/3 of 1% against the greenback. The euro off by 2/5 of 1% right now against the US dollar. But on the equity markets, well, there was a remarkable rally on Wall Street last night, with the Dow Jones enjoying its best one-day percentage gain since November 2020, while the S&P 500 rose by 2.6%. This was followed overnight by gains across the Asia-Pacific regions. You can see the Nikkei in the top left-hand corner of the screen rose by 3.25%, while there are also gains in Hong Kong, Shanghai, Sydney and in Mumbai. In Europe, it's a similar picture right now. All of the main European stock indices are in positive territory, as you can see right now. The yellow leader jersey being worn by the IBEX in Madrid, which is up by nearly 1.25% right now. Talking points in Europe this morning include Temenos, the Swiss software maker, shares down 20% following a profits warning. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in positive territory right now, currently 4/5 of 1% higher in a broad-based rally led by the financial stocks. Hargreaves Lansdown and Lloyds Banking Group are among the leading percentage gainers right now. Outside the FTSE, the oil industry infrastructure company Petrofac, the shares there up by 8%. That's after it received a push from one of the brokers this morning. But International Distribution Services, that's the parent company of Royal Mail, of course, the shares are down by 13% after it warned of increasing losses in the Royal Mail division. As for the oil price, well, that was slightly lower last time I checked. It's still down. That's due to concerns about global growth rumbling on. Barrel of Brent crude will currently set you back $94.08 a barrel. That is off 0.5%. Well, joining me now is Rob Bergman. He is a senior investment manager at Brewin Dolphin. Rob, welcome to you. You've got to explain this rally on Wall Street to me last night. I mean, everything lurched lower when the inflation figure hit the screens. What was behind that late rally, do you think?
I mean, it had come back from a very oversold position. It had been hammered over the course of September. I think it was the worst September since 2008. So there's a bit of latent value, I think, lurking around in there, and some things just got oversold. The expectation as well that your previous commentator was talking about interest rates in the US and where they're going. But I think we might not be nearer cuts, but we're probably nearer the peak than we are the trough of rates.
And what about here in Europe? I mean, obviously, markets have rallied very smartly. Is that just the sort of tailwind of the US, or is there more to it than that? Is there actually solid buying here, or is this just a bit of a markup?
No, I think it's just a markup, if I'm really honest. I think the economic picture is still quite bleak. I mean, you talked before about the kind of activity we're seeing here in bonds, and this it does have an impact, because obviously the value of an equity is always going to be relative to the risk-free return that you can get on bonds. I use the word risk-free with definitely with quote marks around them.
Yeah, quite so. What about this trading update from the parent company Royal Mail this morning, Rob? What did you make of that? I mean, the stock price has been absolutely hit for six.
Well, they were supposed to be releasing their results anyway on the 17th of November. I think that was the planned date. But so they've had to bring this forward, this profit warning. It did not make good reading. The costs of the ongoing dispute are escalating, and they're trapped in this world, of course, where on the one hand the parcel business is doing far better, but on the other hand the sort of traditional business of dropping people's mail off at their homes every day. I mean, how much mail do we all get? I mean, an awful lot less than we used to.
What do you make of the fact that they changed their name recently? The company's now called International Distribution Services. I mean, it seems to be, it's been taken as an indication that GLS, which is the International's parcels division, could be spun off from Royal Mail itself.
I think just trying to create a better understanding, perhaps, of where they want the business to go. If you call yourself Royal Mail, people are going to just associated with the traditional business. By changing a name to International Distribution Services, then you're indicating you're a much more global business than that. I don't think it's more than that.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Online, on mobile, and soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Turn it on.
Turn it up.
Show them you got the Coco set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London.
Hi there, this is CJ Butler, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Broadcasting worldwide, online, 24/7.
Around the world.
In your car, at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking.
When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
This is Starr Radio UK.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
Okay, and that is how I say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to welcome you to the Friday edition of the morning show. Today is the 14th day of October, the year 2022, with a time now exactly 10:39. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. From now till 1 o'clock, I'm going to be a captain, flying you through the terrain of good, bad, name it, of information. So stay tuned, stay glued to your sets, buckle up. As I say, if you are sitting, sit very comfortably. You are standing, hold on to something. At times the ride gets bumpy, however you are short of one thing.
Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
Well, I'm saying good morning to my team this morning. Mr. Olayomi, Mr. Frank Davis, and Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of JL Accountancy Services, our money man. And my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Yes, and you listening to me. Let me say a massive good morning to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi. And to all you wonderful people who continue to support Starr Radio UK in all in our endeavors. Now let me say morning to Amaya Jirgini all the way in Nigeria, Anthony Adedeji in the US, Aziz in the US, Miss Gold in UAE. Moyiwa, good morning to you. Bishop Adeshola, good morning. Now, if I've missed your name, I've not missed you at all. I love you to bits, and thank you very much to each and every one of you. So, our greetings to all of you listening to us in the US, in Americas, let me put it that way, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, and on the African continent. Especially those of you in Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, and my Ugandan listeners. I salute each and every one of you. Hey, what about my Liberian listeners as well? Massive good morning to each and every one of you, and once again, welcome to the show. To Mr. Afolayan Walatunde, good morning, sir. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a good day. I'm glad Nigeria has not happened to you as well. Alright, if you're listening to us, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. And for those of you who have tuned in for the first time to listen to us on the Friday edition of the morning show, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel updates. And then we'll continue from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. Then after that, 11 o'clock, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi who will be hopping on, yes, to bring you what? Updates from Nigeria. I saw a headline and I was asking myself, is the new CGN bringing a change in the judiciary or the legal world in Nigeria? Well, we'll be looking more into that. There's some nice stories coming from that end. Yes, a lot more going to be coming from there. ASU, at long last. What did they give to them? Is it a court that told them, hey, you guys have to go back or else? So we'll be looking into that. Alright then, the rule of law. Down from there, we're moving on to other parts of the world to look at some of the stories making the rounds. At 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. We control from there exactly at a 12:30. We'll take you straight to Kent, where our money man is, to bring you the money hour. In this times of challenges where cost of living is on the ascendancy, we will see what advice will be given to you. So don't touch the dial. Continue to keep your dials logged on Starr Radio, okay? And I promise you, you're going to enjoy your journey. Welcome on board. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Okay, so the quote for the day says, your destiny is not tied to the situation in which you were born. Your destiny is not tied to the situation in which you were born. If it was so, Moses wouldn't have been Moses. We wouldn't have seen all that story of the Israelites and everything that happened. He was born somewhere, was raised another place, and they became whatever. You see? All right then. So if you were born in some shanty town somewhere in Ghana or Niger or wherever it is, the place that you were born does not define this. Your destiny is not tied to the situation in which you were born. So whether it's cesarean, whether you were birthed, whatever means that you were birthed, that doesn't matter at all. Maybe there wasn't anybody there. You were even born on a bench. It doesn't matter. That situation doesn't matter at all. You got your own destiny to live and to fulfill. So fulfill your destiny. Time for the forward time. Let me take you straight to the weather front. Well, in the UK, we've got a very nice weather this morning, but apparently not nice. It's a bit cloudy out there. However, there's going to be some rains during the weekend today and over the weekend. So let me quickly tell you what is happening on the weather front. In the afternoon, spells of patchy rain will drift in from the west, but it will turn drier for some towards evening. This evening, we will see cloud and rain clear to the east to leave skies clear for a time overnight. Now, cloud will be variable with a few showers developing in places towards dawn. Atomic temperature today is going to be 16 degrees. The lower is going to be 10 degrees. Now, when it comes to the weather for tomorrow morning, cloud and any showers will clear to the east to leave sunshine for a time. It will soon become cloudier again as outbreaks of rain arrive from the west later in the afternoon. It's going to be breezy. Sunday, a mixture of sunshine and cloud, and average temperatures will be ranging between 17 and 10 degrees. Let me put it that way. Okay, you can share with me what is happening in your area. You know what? I love to hear what is happening. Amayo, what's the weather in Niger? Miss Gold, how is the weather in UAE? Anthony Adedeji, how is the weather in the US? Alright then, let's move on to the travel updates.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise. I'll on the Starr Radio travel update that comes to every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:47. What is your travels like? Yes, here I can tell you what exactly it's like. But what about yours? Okay, so let's crack on. Now on the underground this morning, let's see what is happening there. There seems to be good service throughout London Tramlink DLR London Overground good service there. Now moving on straight to the major roads in London, A4 Central London Red Routes and A205 have all got closures, and A406 has got serious delays. Now keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I will go on. Let's move on straight to the river bars. On the river bars this morning, apart from the Woolwich Ferry that's got a special service, all the others have got good service. And then moving on to the London Cable Car, I can tell you shortly, good service there. Now to the final segment of the travel update, whilst you keep your eyes on the roads, that is the National Rail. On the National Rail this morning, Avanti West Coast has got reduced timetable. Great Northern Railway has got minor delays on some routes. The Greater Anglia has got disruption between Wickford and Southminster and between Shenfield and Chelmsford. But keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. On the Northern Line, no trains between Battersby and Whitby. Now, Northern Rail, my apologies. Southwestern Railway, minor delays on some routes. And then on Thames Link, minor delays on some routes there as well. First Transparent Express has still got amended timetable which is affecting travel, so check before you leave. On that note, once again, let me say it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Okay, welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We are transmitting live on all the social media platforms. You can post your comments on our Facebook page and I'll read it, or on the YouTube or Periscope or Twitter. And also, you can listen to us via our apps. We've got our own apps. Go to your app store, whether iOS or Android. Just type in Starr Radio Global. I was going to say UK. Starr Radio Global, and it will pop up the various facets, and just download it now, and then you just enjoy what we are doing. We have Tisa Radio in Uganda that is transmitting up there as well, and we've got the Hosanna Radio there as well. Before we got the Starr Radio UK, we've got various facets to the station. So whatever it is, just get in touch with it. Download it for free. Now let's move on to some of the stories making the rounds in Nigeria today. My apologies, across the globe. My apologies. The story that is making the rounds across the globe. The Academic Staff Union of Universities have suspended its 8-month strike. And now we'll keep Nnamdi Kanu in custody despite appeal court's ruling, the AGF Malami is saying. Well, the court has ruled, dropped all the charges. Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria court drops charges against separatist IPOB leader. So why aren't they setting him free? Is it that they're going to say they're going to appeal or whatever? Why, he was rendition to Nigeria, wasn't he? Well, a lot more going to be coming your way. Follow Yan, thank you very much for that message. Okay, now let's move on to other parts of the world as well. Here in the UK, the Chancellor has returned to UK early for crunch talks with the Prime Minister. Kwesi Kwarteng is flying back from the US this morning for discussions on the mini budget that has caused a massive uproar when it comes to the finance of the country and the world, having some reverberation. And a mystery China protesters sparks online hunt and tributes. As I did say, for sure, many are trying to track down a person who staged a rare demonstration criticizing Xi Jinping. Didn't I tell you the other time? Was it yesterday? And then to other stories, subpoena of Trump set stage for dramatic showdown. Will Trump show up or not? Well, yesterday I saw footage of what was happening during the January 6th invasion of the Capitol. The Iran forces shoot at fleeing people from truck. Footage shows a gun-mounted pickup truck chasing people running away as mass protests continue. Mass protests continue, my apologies. And Ukraine are demanding Red Cross visit notorious prison. Kyiv says that there must be a mission to the Olenivka prison where 3 days as human lives are at stake. Well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Global Trotting. Now on the African continent, Burkina Faso National Conference opens for appointment of transitional president. According to the chairman of their organization committee, Colonel Major Celestine Campore, their objective is to examine and adopt the transitional draft that has been brought in. In Tunisia, fuel crunch adds to economic misery in capital Tunis. In Mali, at least 11 people are dead in a bus blast. And in Cameroon's far north regions face devastating floods. This all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Yesterday I saw a picture of the Ghana's economic minister, finance and economic minister, sitting side by side with Kwesi Kwarteng, the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Now, some things, if it's gone viral. People have been saying, whose good mind was this sitting arrangement where Kwesi Kwarteng was sitting by what do you call him, Oforiatta? I was asking myself the question, what is he asking? Maybe he was saying, Charlie, give me some ideas, so things are biting me here. But well, what do you think about all that? It is Starr Radio UK. The CAGD staff threatened to withdraw validation service over SDA allowance. We'll be tell you more about that. Now, when it comes to Galamsey issue, government has shown negligence in Galamsey fight. And I'll continue further that one with military solely responsible. The military are solely responsible for the success or failure of the fight against Galamsey. That is what Abu Jinapo is saying. Now, why is he saying so? Is it just laying the blame at the doorsteps of the military, saying that government has given them all the power to just go around, arrest, destroy whatever they are doing, or to stop the Galamsey menace that is going on in the country? So he says, well, if that is still going on, don't blame anybody, don't blame the ministers, don't blame government, blame the military. Well, I want to hear a response from the military then. The military high command. What have they done? Are they also in cahoots with the Galamseyers? What do you think? This and a lot more going to be coming your way. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, let me bring you some music and then we'll continue with the show. This is around Breathe, the cover version of Dancing Oyasikan's song, this time around by the late Danny Toffe. Enjoy this and I'll be with you.
That's the breath of God and fill us with life anew. Oh, breathe on us. Oh, breathe on us. Father to child, spirit to spirit, I'm lighted by your word. And with your breath of life, that's how I come alive. Yes, and that's how I change my world. If you know it, you can join us and let's sing this to Jesus. It says, Father to child, from your spirit to my spirit, I'm lighted by your word.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
That's how I come alive. Yes, that's how I change my world. So I say, just breathe your name upon me. Breathe. Just breathe your name upon me. Breathe. Your hey is your name. Breathe, Lord. Just breathe your name upon me. Breathe. Let's sing it together, choir. Let's say, Father to child, Spirit to spirit, lighted by your word. It says, with your breath of life, Jesus. That's how I come. That's how I change. One more time, Father to child, Father to child. Oh, I'm lighted by your word, and with your breath of life, hey, that's how I come alive. That's how I change my world. Just breathe your name, just breathe your name. Just breathe your name upon me. Come on, lift it up. Ask the Lord to breathe on you this morning. Your hair, your hair. Come on, you're singing the song to Jesus. Sing it like you mean it. Say, Father, just breathe your name. Just breathe your name. Just breathe your name upon me. Just breathe your name. Your name, your name, your name. Your hair, your hair. Oh, just breathe. Just breathe your name. Just breathe. Just breathe. This morning. Breathe your name upon me. Your hair, your hair. Breathe, Lord. Breathe your name upon me. Just like in the beginning, where I was before you formed me, in that place of koinonia. Hey, your hair, your hair. Come on, say, just breathe. Breathe your name upon me. Hey. For there's a spirit in
The coolest way to start your weekend.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
Just breathe, just breathe. Breathe your name upon me. Breathe. For there's a spirit in man, and the breath of the Almighty, it gives it understanding. Your hair. Breathe, Lord. Breathe, Lord.
Well, something from Danny Toffe. Yes, Breathe, the cover version of Dancing Oyani Ken's song, Breathe. I think Africans, we need God to breathe in our first, It's quite an interesting one because how issues are going on there in that part of the world, my goodness, I'm not very sure of what exactly that seems to be going on there. But it's now gone 3 minutes past the top of the hour, and we are having Mr. Olayomi Koiki, but just bear with us while we try to get him on. It seems that we cannot see him at the moment, so I know that he knows what to do. The technical team are up there in our North London studio seeing to address it there. Okay, but it is All Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, yesterday we did talk about the fact that the charges that were brought against the appeal court was to give a ruling on the charges that was brought against Nnamdi Kanu. However, though he's been cleared, the court cleared him of that, yet the federal government is saying, now you know what, we're going to still be holding him for a time being because, the charges that have been dropped, but it's not been acquitted, and therefore they're still going to be holding him. But I've got Mr. Olayomi Koiki who's joining in, and we're going to be looking into details. But let me say good morning to Adax Breaker. Hey, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us, and all of you who are on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on our Twitter, and as many sets where you are, we salute you and we say welcome. But let me take this opportunity to say massive good morning to the White Lion himself. Yummy, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to Frank. Good morning to all our presenters on Starr Radio UK, and welcome once again to the Friday edition of the the morning show, as the week is finally ending on a good note for those that are not going through pains. But for those that are going through pains, we also are here to give you all the latest news coming out of Nigeria. And I hope you're doing very well, Mr. Archie.
Oh, yes, I'm doing very, very well. Wake up in the morning, go through all the stories. So overnight, listen, monitor everything that is going on. So when we wake up at dawn, we want to just come in and just share what we know with our lovely family. Let me put it that way. And it's a pleasure to once again have the opportunity to do so. Yes, interestingly, let's start from the picture behind you. That is the scene of I think in the court yesterday when Nnamdi Kanu's the court ruled that those charges of terrorism that was leveled against him should be dropped. But tell us more about what is happening.
Well, the situation, because we couldn't give that latest update yesterday. Remember, once again, this is Starr Radio UK. It is the morning show, and this is where we take you to Nigeria with all the news coming, on the Starr Radio UK. Yesterday was a very, important day, in the history of Nigeria. Again, looking at the situation between the federal government and Nnamdi Kanu when it comes to his rendition and kidnapping from Nigeria. The court case has been going on since last year. For the benefit of the listeners that probably are not aware of who Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra that wants a self-determination and independent country out of Nigeria. But what we saw yesterday was the rulings that actually discharged Nnamdi Kanu from all the charges. I mean, I'm talking about charges that the federal government labeled on him as a terrorist, and likewise bringing him back from his where he was actually when he was in Kenya. But as we are just about celebrating that by the Biafra, I went back to listen to Nnamdi Kanu, one of the interview he granted prior before he was he left Nigeria. I remember Nnamdi Kanu was in Nigeria, but the federal government wanted to assassinate him I think in 2018, when he eventually escaped from the atrocity of the federal government. I would listen again carefully yesterday. He was asked, what does Biafra mean to him? It means freedom, liberty, fairness, equity, and justice. And that was exactly what he got yesterday. But that justice have not been completed, only for another headline coming to say from the Attorney General of the Federation we will keep Nnamdi Kanu in custody despite appeal court ruling AGF. The Attorney General firstly claimed that yesterday appeal court ruling was only about the illegality of the Nnamdi Kanu forced removal from Kenya. It was not forced, it was kidnapped, it was rendition. And the word force is a different thing entirely, because the process of removing somebody from a country was not done, and I'm not even sure how and what kind of aircraft was used to bring Nnamdi Kanu back. The Attorney General Abubakar Malami, another Fulani that as Nnamdi Kanu has always said that the reason why this union is not working is because the fairness is not there, the justice is not there, the liberty is not there. I said that it will not release Nnamdi Kanu despite the ruling of the Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal that freed the Biafra leader of terrorism and other charges instituted against him by the Nigerian government. Star Radio UK, I will come back again in the studio. I've not heard from the barrister of Nnamdi Kanu, but I'm sure they'll be releasing some statement. But the question is Nigeria going to hold before 2023?
Well, that's the question. Let me acknowledge a couple of people before I come. I'll put a comment there. Now, Alonje Sheyi says, "Good morning, Mr. Archie and Mr. Koiki. You guys are the best. Thank you very much, Alonje. We love you to bits as well." Moyua says, "Good morning, everyone in the house. We thank God for the table is turning to the good side." Now, yesterday we did touch on briefly about the new CJN who was sworn in, and I was asking you a question because he made a statement which yesterday, when I was trying to look for that statement, it vanished from the platform. I don't know whether they deliberately took it down. I'm not very sure what happened, but the statement was like, let the politicians leave the judiciary alone for them to do their work. Do you think that this is one of the moves by the CJN to say that, look, let justice prevail? Is that what is happening, do you think?
Well, I mean, justice has to be prevail. If you want a stable economy, if you want, foreign investors to come into your country. I mean, if there's no justice, you would not get, foreign investment coming into the country, because if there is an issue and you cannot get the fairness in the justice system in a country, then it will be a lot of problem. The CGN, which is a new CGN, might definitely want the system, the justice to run its course. Whether it's going to be something that the federal government does not like. I mean, yes, they might disagree with the view of Nnamdi Kanu, but one thing is, whatever Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra are doing is exactly the question that took me back to an article in one of the media in Nigeria in 2017, and it says, is it right to seek self-determination? Is the right to self-determination, independent or self-governing, legitimate or illegitimate? In other words, is it right or wrong for an ethnic or social logical group to demand independence from an existing nation to form a sovereign state with its own constitution, drawn to its own peculiarity and aspiration? What do you think? Whatever Nnamdi Kanu was projecting, definitely, there will be millions of Nigerians that disagree with it, and there will be millions from the system, like the federal government, that have decided that the only way, to bring him back to Nigeria was kidnap him, and the court have now acquitted, dropped all charges, but it seems the federal government is still headbound saying we will keep him in custody. So we'll have to wait and see what is going to be the next line, from his legal team that have been working fairlessly. Nnamdi Kanu was also asked in that interview whether he will go to war, asking for Biafra, and all he says was, truth is the weapon, war is not the best option.
Well, truth is the weapon, war is not the best option. Oluola says, God bless you, guy, Mr. Koiki. Nigeria will not listen to the court facts. And that seems to be exactly what is happening. Now, let me just reiterate somewhat of what Yomi said. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, made this known in a statement issued by Dr. Umar Bandu, saying Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations, Ministry of Justice. Malami said, for the avoidance of doubt and by the verdict of the court, Kanu was only discharged and not acquitted. That's what he's saying, and saying that is why consequently the appropriate legal option before the authorities will be exploited and communicated according to the public. Now, was it early part of this year? I mean, sometime this year as well, we have Sunday Igboho's a court also ruling that Sunday Igboho should be compensated for the losses, the attack on his house, and the damage that was caused. And we had whatever security agency coming back to say that no, they're not going to be doing that. So again, the courts have ruled, the justice has spoken, but are we going to see any action? And what do you think the Igbo people now, his kinsmen, what do you think they are planning?
Following, Nnamdi Kanu is actually trending this morning on Twitter at number 5, with almost 125,000 tweets so far. You can tell how important, this individual is. Let's go back straight to, his community, his hometown. Nnamdi Kanu's hometown, Agog, as Kingsmen celebrate appeal court ruling. I'm not sure whether that celebration will continue to early hours of the morning, knowing what the Attorney General was also releasing just same yesterday to counter, the Court of Appeal. Youth, men, women, children of his community trooped out to Kanu's family house in the news about his acquitted that broke out, and as you can tell, the celebration is not just in his hometown. Across the world, the Biafrans have been coming out, discussing these. But I'm sure the conversation now that they'll be looking at is, will Nnamdi Kanu be released from the DSS custody this morning? But it seems that might not be happening anytime soon, since the DSS and the Malami, the AGF, are saying that, even though it was forced, it was not forced, it was kidnapped, rendition, and the question now is, what will be the next line of action? Is this kind of a push, to that same message of the breakup of Nigeria, as a lot of people are saying that the unity of being a country, if the Biafra don't want to be part of Nigeria, why not let them go peacefully rather than keep them in the same system and do not give them the freedom, liberty, fairness, and equity and justice, just as the Yoruba nation are also asking for the same thing as well.
Well, listeners, Starr Radio UK, updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios. And let me say once again, good morning to Anthony Adedeji in the US of A. Now, I don't know whether it's the court's ruling again telling the ASU to go back to the lecture to school, and that is course is pushed them to go so that they don't flout or break the court's ruling because you know that when you break the court's ruling you'll be in trouble. But I don't know what exactly is happening there. Before I let you comment on that one, Moyo Wasinuga says they only know Sharia law. He said that is what the federal court knows. It's only Sharia law that he believes that they know. So is it the court's ruling that have forced the ASU to go back, or have they reached a deal with the federal government? Hello, Yomi? Yes.
Not literally the court rulings. Let us remind you that there was quite a lot of engagement between the federal government, especially not the federal government, the House of Reps, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the ASU, and eventually there was they came together to say that we will pull out from this 8-month strike. ASU have now come out officially to suspend the strike after 8 months. According to what we know, the academic staff union of the university have suspended its 8 months, authoritatively confirming this, though the union is yet to make an official pronouncement. But the information that is been coming out from Abuja after the National Executive Council meeting that we discussed yesterday that was held at the Secretariat in Abuja. But what we can confirm is, I believe that there's a kind of a peace between ASU and the mediator, the House of Rep, with the federal government. How long that is going to hold is something that we would have to wait and see. Whether, as election is coming, maybe it's just to die down the doors and allow students to go back, or probably maybe, as a lot of people are speculating, that it seems that the super rally that the Yorubas are about to start is the reason why the House of Rep is doing everything to make sure that all the students are back to school, so that there will not be any student out there joining the super rally. But that's just a speculation. But we've known that this is not the first time that ASU has been going on strike. For the last 20 years, ASU have always been on strike. Even during the military rule, they have always been on strike. So I won't be surprised that probably in the next couple of weeks or months, ASU might be returning back, because the federal government are always adamant not to give them what they want.
Well, we'll see what is going to happen on that front, whether they will or they wouldn't. It is all coming away from Star Radio UK. Let me read a few of the comments that have come through. Prince. Okay, a few of them. So Bishop Adesina. Adesina Adeyemo says the Nigerian Attorney General is indicted already. He takes the Chief Justice is defending government instead of the people. And then Prince Oji says Aton Buhari said he will let the court ruling prevail and he will not interfere with the court ruling. Nigeria is a joke. Now Prince Abimbola says he says good morning, Mr. Archie and White Lion. I'm so happy Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was discharged and acquitted, but let's wait for the zoo government. If they comply to the ruling, Yoruba Nation no going back. Olaoluwa okay, he said good morning Star Radio UK gentlemen and all Star Radio UK team. Yoruba Nation now no going back. Congrats to IPOP, moving to the next level. All right then. Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, we promise you one thing for sure. Over the weekend, we're going to be monitoring whatever is going on in the southeast, and then hopefully we'll be coming back to you. We'll try to see whether we can engage the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and then bring that your way as well. Okay, Yomi, let's move on to some of the other stories.
Well, let's take a look at more headline coming out of Nigeria this morning. Is it not interesting that 80% of Nigerians are enjoying full electricity? I didn't say so. That is the headline coming from the NNPC Group Executive Officer Mele Kairi. The NNPC Group Chief Executive has claimed that 80% of Nigerians have electricity. I'm not sure what part of the world is actually living, because if he say that 80% of Nigerians have electricity, that literally means that Nigeria has become a very better place when it comes to the power sector. We do know that definitely that is not what is happening, because a lot of Nigerians are living in darkness. Offices are not running because there's no electricity. But let's take a look at. It's stated that the oil and gas industry has changed rapidly in a position direction because of the change of attitude by the Nigerians and the industry players. In our country today, we have so much energy. 80% of the population cannot boast of electricity. Energy is necessary for our day-to-day dealing. Businesses are changing. Companies are shifting their focus. We must deliver energy and training, and innovative technology must be focused for us in a manner that will help to deliver energy. And this is something that I'm sure so many Nigerians will be asking, where actually is this electricity? But again, this is Nigeria for you, and I can only say that we know that it is not true based on those of us that have relatives back home. I know you want me to go back.
Just a quick one. Some of the comments that are coming. I mean, Oluola says that is a lie, blatant lie. Adesina Adeyemo says it is a lie from the highest order, and he continues. And Nigerian ran electricity from generator. Well, Adibanji somewhere Adesanya says, good morning, White Lion. God bless you, Yoruba Nation, and God bless me, and God bless you. God bless us all. And in our Nigeria today, no light, no food, no water in the zoo. So what is the 80%? What are they talking about? Yomi.
Well, I mean, it's quite, I like I said, I'm not sure what part of the world, some of these politicians are living. I mean, he definitely have full electricity. But my parents, our parents back home, our loved ones are all sleeping with mosquito biting them all over the place, and no proper, electricity. So definitely that is something that is not for us to buy in this part of the world. So let's go back again and take some of the other headlines. 2023, Nigerian census is politics of numbers, says Governor Masari. Well, it has always been a game of numbers since the numbers were already, added up, during the time of the independence that we were given, in the impression that the northern part of Nigeria has the numbers, and that has always been the same thing. So let's take a look at what Masari, the governor Aminu Masari, has described census in Nigeria as politics of numbers and called on traditional rulers in Katsina to support the 2023 population and housing census. The governor made a call on Thursday in Katsina during a one-day stakeholder summit on a proposed 2023 population and housing census. He pointed out that since 1963, the census in Nigeria has been politicized. All census are being bedeviled by the politics of numbers, not the quality of number. We hope this time, with technology, we will be able to achieve near perfection in terms of knowing how many we are in this country. Lamented the tragedy of what we have done in reducing the issues. Let's take a look at that. I mean, when you look at Nigeria, nobody has a precise number of how many we are in Nigeria. I mean, a country that is so big enough but cannot feed, its average citizen. And I want to go back and look at, what the word clock is talking about when it talks about the numbers, because that is just, the data that we can use this morning. So I'm actually pulling that up quickly. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station. The reason why Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world, according to the information we have, according to the World Poverty Map, Nigeria has a population of 250,353,968, and out of that total number, as of today, the 14th of October 2022, we have 69,997,160, the total number of people living in extreme poverty. In as much as, that is their own data, I'm sure there's more than 100 million Nigerians that are living in abject poverty. So now that they are trying to do the census, I'm not sure, maybe that will make any impact. Let's get one more, and then I'm going to come back again to you in the studio with some of the other headline at exactly 24 minutes past. The Lagos State is now probing a nurse that was filming Rico's survey last moment. Again, a very, very sad one. I've seen that video. It's not something that we can show because of the policy and of the social media rules. There were 3 nurses that were meant to be attending to Rico that was in a ghastly motor accident, but rather they were filming, and it was just kept on a normal sitting chair, and you will wonder how the medical system in Nigeria has failed again on other Nigerians as he passed on during his last moment. A 30-second video clip showing a final moment of a former reality TV star, Patrick Fakoya, aka Rico Suave, at a hospital in Lagos State has attracted condemnation from members of the public. In a clip that was recorded by one of the nurses attending to Rico Suave, the deceased was placed on an oxygen as he was unconscious on a chair. It was observed that the nurses were attempting to carry him on the bed when the nurse brought out a phone and started recording. Another nurse was heard cautioning her colleagues against the act. We hope something will be done, and again, it still shows, the orientation that when somebody is in a life-threatening situation, it is not the time to do those kind of recording. One more before I come back to you, Mr. Archie. World Bank and the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, to assess Nigerian debt sustainability. The reason why Nigerians do not have jobs is because there's no production line. Everything used in Nigeria today, even up to the toothpick, is imported into the country. So that literally means that an average man in Shaki, where they should have been using the production line as a gari that I saw yesterday during the rally that was done there yesterday, but rather the chairman would rather not allow a rally to be held in his own local government because he believes that he still want to be in the game of politics and the game of numbers. So what is the IMF discussing this morning? The president of the World Bank, David Malpass, has said that the bank will work with the International Monetary Fund to assess Nigeria's debt sustainability. Malpass said this during the 2022 annual meeting opening in conference in Washington, D.C. yesterday. He said, we will work with IMF on assessment of the debt sustainability of Nigeria, but it will be up to Nigeria itself to interact with various creditors, which include bondholders, official creditors. They are engaged in Nigeria. Remember that the debt of Nigeria continue to rise in trillions of naira, whereas an average man is asking, why are we in debt when we have the crude oil, we have the resources, but those resources are not in the capacity of the indigenous people, rather is in the capacity of the few, just as we remember Pastor Enoch Adeboye says some few months ago that 20% of Nigerians are controlling 80% of the resources for Nigerians, and that is why 80% have electricity, but definitely that is a false information from the NNPC chairman.
Interesting. Well, listen, let's start already. Have this from Nigeria. Yes, can you hear me? Hello, Yomi, can you hear me? Okay, Yomi is going to call us back. Let me
come back in and come back out.
Yeah, okay. Just bear with us whilst we get Yomi to call us back on it. Now, but what I was just trying to say there was pertaining to some of the information that has come in. Okay, let me get it. Just bear with me whilst I try to get Yomi back on. Good. We have him back on. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay, but I can't. Okay, good. All right then, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koike in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the studios. Yes, the technical team working very, very well to make sure that you don't miss out on anything. But let me read a few of the comments that have come through. Now, Oluola says that is a lie. Nobody enjoy light in the zoo. Nigeria, Yoruba need to come out of Nigeria. Nobody gets light in the zoo. Nigeria, Yoruba need to come out of Nigeria now. Yoruba nation. And Adetola Sunday says, good morning, Mr. Koike. Now, Oluola says, continues, he said, talking about number, is not more than the Southwest, but we all knew that British did before what they did before they left the zoo, Nigeria. It's true there, because every time I've been asking, do you mean to tell us that the northerners are more than the southerners? I'm not sure about that, but somehow they managed to get that. And then Adebanji somewhere this and that says, in our Nigeria today, no light, no food, no water in the zoo. Omo Epo TV says, God bless Yoruba nation. Now Ijaya General, it's a no light, no water, no hospital, no security, no education, no work, no infrastructure, no law, no government, no leaders. I mean, he's just been giving up entirely. Now, Temi Tope says all our politicians are thieves and greedy. May God deliver us from them. Yoruba nation now. Well, I think God has got a serious work to do this morning when it comes to what is happening in Nigeria. But Yomi, I know with all those things now, I know the presidential campaign seems to be going on. As we know, they're going around with a ruling yesterday with the electricity issue that someone has come out to say that 80% of the country is enjoying electricity, so just 20%. I don't know, maybe here, maybe one of the studios that will not turn the light on, that's the 20%. So Nigeria, everything is good there. But my question is, what are the presidential candidates saying about these issues that is going on? Because these are pertinent issues that is affecting the ordinary Nigerian.
Sorry, I missed that. Sorry, Mr. Archie. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that Nnamdi Kanu's ruling yesterday, the court's ruling yesterday, and then with this issue where the energy minister or electricity minister has come out to say, oh look, 80% of Nigerians are enjoying electricity. So these are blatant lies, as we all know. Now, what are the political leaders, the presidential candidates or those parties who are campaigning now? What have they said? What have they said about it?
Well, as usual, Omoyele Sowore have responded, as you can tell, to the outcome of the court ruling. Let's see if we have anything from the official handle of Peter Obi this morning, whether he has actually responded as well, to the development of Nnamdi Kanu. So I'm going to check that quickly, but I'm going to be giving us what I know that Sowore said. From what I can see so far, The last updated was about 2 days ago. So it seems, Peter Obi Andu is not really up to date with what is going on in Nigeria. So probably maybe they're a little bit delayed in updating, their Andu of what they have to say. Maybe they have to think about what they have to say before they bring it out, because, as a presidential candidate for the Labour Party. But in terms of what Showore said about 16 hours ago, which was yesterday, hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu. We warned Muhammadu Buhari that adoption of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya was a grave mistake. Now they are sucking. Next, let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go home tonight. I'm not sure whether Nnamdi Kanu is going home tonight, because it looks like the AGF wants to keep him out there. Also, he says, and I quote, Nnamdi Kanu appeal court judgment, 3-man panel discharge all charges against the IPOB leader. That was what Showore actually said, yesterday. I'm not sure whether Atiku have said anything on that, but let's have a look at, his handle this morning, whether Atiku have responded as well to Nnamdi Kanu. Again, last updated was just about yesterday. Nothing about Nnamdi Kanu, so we'll have to wait and see. But I can tell you later on when we go on this full social media, Nnamdi Kanu is trending at number 5 with about 126,000 tweets. Quite a lot of conversation is going in there. ASU is trending at number 2, but I'm going to come back again. In terms of, we know that the politicians are always trying as much as possible to avoid Nnamdi Kanu, apart from Omoyele Showore that have stood his ground, in supporting Nnamdi Kanu. We've seen him attending, court cases, and likewise, as he did during the Yoruba Nation, self-determination campaign that were kidnapped, from Chief Sunday Igboho's house, and some of his, colleagues that were staying overnight, over 12 days. I was actually speaking to one of our, Moremi, that was taken away as well during that, one of the only women. She spoke to me yesterday, and she was telling me the condition of the, of what Nnamdi Kanu is going through, because a prison cell was just right below. She was below. Nnamdi Kanu is on the top, in the same DSS custody that they were kept in Abuja. And there they have the toilet is inside the same place, the bathroom is there, you have to eat in there, and the hygiene is not there. And she said, what she faced in that custody for over 3 months, she could think of what Nnamdi Kanu must have been facing for the last almost a year. Yes, there was a lot of eye contact between herself and Nnamdi Kanu during the time that she was kept in that custody, but again, we can only pray that Nnamdi Kanu will finally regain his freedom and become a free person that he has always been, because the court have now said Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist.
The court has said that, but as to whether the federal government will do it or not is another story. Adebanji somewhere additional says, now please God, give us our nation, Yoruba nation, now. I mean, it's now ended up, we have to be praying more, Now Oluola says, they say nothing about the ruling. He's talking about the politicians, that they've not made any comments about that. But it's quite interesting. Do you, if you are listening to us, I just want to post your comments there, because I'm asking the question here, that do you think that it's wise to keep Nnamdi Kanu incarcerated, and we have this sit down at home thing that is going on there, where we know that if he's released, somehow his people will stop that, and then what commercial activities can go on, the southeast can generate funds. I mean, funds will come in, especially in a country where we are crying. The IMF are saying that, look, wherever we are, the debts to GDP ratio is, appalling and stuff like that. Do you think that the best way for the federal government to go is to keep him still behind bars? Let us know what you think. Bishop Adesina says that Kanu's lawyers should stop going to court with Nigerian DSS, a government who has no respect for court, order, or rule of law. It is true there, because like I said, the ruling that was passed in favor of Sunday Igboho, up to now, what have we heard of it? Nothing. Miss Gold, good day to you. All right then, let's come to Yomi for what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Archie. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. So we're going to go straight now to some of the headlines coming out of the social media this morning as we continue to monitor the situation. Like I said, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, about 18 hours ago, one of the the legal team for Nnamdi Kanu, appealed aloud. Onyedo Mazi Nnamdi Kanu discharged, acquitted. We have won. Victory, victory, victory. But we'd have to wait and see. I'm not sure whether they've got any updates so far this morning. I think it's just got the interview with nothing so far. But later on today at about 11 o'clock, which I believe live on Facebook and YouTube, tune in. I'll be listening to that. I'll be giving more updates on that when we come. Rico is trending at number 6. RIP Rico is trending at number 6, while Nnamdi Kanu has jumped to number 3 from number 5 this morning. ASU is still trending at number 1, as we know that the ASU have eventually called off their strike. So as we can tell you, open the gate and let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go home as ordered by the Court of Appeal. Opposition coalition spokesman Ikenge Imo tells Buhari. Whether Buhari will listen to that, we would have to wait and see. But that is what they are saying as well. Open the gate and let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should go home as well. So what are more people saying? Aloy Ejimako, another Kanu legal extraordinary rendition is barred to the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, is therefore discharge of all charges, Court of Appeal. Also, Amnesty International has also weighed in to Nnamdi Kanu's case. Amnesty International welcomes the Court of Appeal ruling in Abuja, which discharged leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of the charges against him. The Nigerian authority must abide by the ruling in compliance with its human rights obligation. It is pertinent to know that the ruling shows that the authorities violated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's right to fair hearing. We urge Nigerian authority to follow due process and to always respect and uphold human rights. Hashtag Nnamdi Kanu. So you can see that almost everybody agrees that the rendition and kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu was something that should never have happened in the first place. Let's now look at what is trending generally when it comes to Nigeria and more as well. If upon sure Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, brought to Nigeria illegally, he must be free and compensated. I'm not sure that the compensation is going to happen, just as there was never a compensation from the Nigerian government to Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho when a 20 billion was awarded to him by a court in your state, but eventually the federal government even come up to say there's no evidence of that. David Odoye, if you are under the age of 35 in Nigeria, take a look at the demographic represented in this image. Calculate the likelihood of his political choice being in your interest. Come out and vote on the election day, or else these are the people that will choose your leadership. Again, that is David Odoye. Let's take a look at more from what I'm getting here when it comes to Nigeria. Tell Buhari that I say he is. We cannot say that, and he cannot jail me. They are not educated enough to jail me. They discharged and acquitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. One says, while in Nigeria, congratulations to Biafrans worldwide. So as we are going into the weekend, Imeko will be holding their peaceful rally, just as Shaki did yesterday for those in Yoruba land. Imeko tomorrow from 9 a.m. And all the transmission will be coming from the sister broadcast as well. But before we come back again to you finally, I say once more, may Nigeria never happen to us. And this is the last one coming. Arrested for stopping unknown person who ran by him. Ola was a panabita working at Alaba in Lagos, Nigeria sometime in May 2004. Ola was on his way back home from work when he saw some people run by him. Few seconds later, soldiers run after those persons. 8 years in prison just because he didn't stop being chased by the soldier. Imagine you have spent 8 years in a Nigerian prison for doing nothing.
Interesting. Listen to Starr Radio UK. Following here now, Latunde says, why is the Nigerian government not giving us a Yoruba nation? Well, I'll be telling you more about that when you are forced to unite and it's not working. Now, Prince OG says, this is part of the reason we don't want to be in a country that has no rule of law. Buhari talk about rule of law at the UN conference 2022, just a couple of weeks ago. The Olula say Yoruba nation now, no going back. But the question that I'm asking once again is, there's a saying that in unity is strength, but when people do not want to belong because they are being marginalized, their rights are being threatened and they are being abused, do you still force them to stay in there? If persuasion fails, then force is applied. It's not me saying it, but that is what the norm is. You push people to the wall, it gets to a point that they are going to bounce back. Some way, somehow, there's a spring in everybody. Ademan Joy Yusuf, we love you to bits as well. Yummy, before we go.
Well, the weekend is on Starr Radio UK. Make sure you tune into all the programs over the weekend. And I'll be back again on Monday morning at exactly 11 o'clock where we continue all the latest news and updates. As you are going away for the weekend, may Nigeria not happen to you. Keep safe and remember, it's only one life. Stand with the truth will stand by you.
Thank you very much, Yomi, and we see you on Monday, but we'll catch up later on during the day.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Interesting ones there. But stay with me. I got a line out of song for you that will keep the momentum going on. But love you all greatly. And this is a cover version of Lavi Safri's song Something Inside So Strong by Ali Rak. Enjoy it. And this is for all, let me put it this way, the freedom fighters, those who are thinking we are being marginalized, we need to do something about it. We need to live before our posterity comes to judge us that we didn't do what we're supposed to do. Enjoy. I'll see you in a bit.
Away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, there's something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place in time. You squander wealth, it's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. 'Cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, there's something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough. When we know better, just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
So strong. The best radio show. When they insist we're just not good enough. Oh, no, no. When we know better, just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
We're gonna do it anyway. Something inside so strong. Well, there's something inside so strong in you, and therefore, if people look at you and say nothing good can come out of you, tell them that yes, there's something inside you that is so strong, but yet you're gonna do it anyway. You're gonna do it anyway. So, if you believe in a cause, you are convicted by that cause. I say it all the time. Stand by it, fight for it. Well, you might get hurt, you might even lose your life for that, but know that you are fighting for posterity, not only for today. It is All Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'll bring the time now to 12 minutes to the top of the hour. At 12 o'clock, I'll be opening the lines for you to add your voice to the discussions. Exactly at 12:30, we'll be going to Kent, where our money man is, to be having the money hour as well. I'll be telling us latest about their cost of living and mini budget and what is going to be happening on that front. Well, they are challenging times. I was listening to monitoring some of the statements that have been made this morning pertaining with the IMF and saying that, well, what we are seeing next year is going to be tougher than what we are seeing at the moment. So how tough can tough be? But remember, as I played a song earlier on, something inside you that is so strong, and I know that you can make it, and I know for sure that I can make it as well. But now let's quickly go on a quick commercial break, and then I'll bring you the rest of the stories making the rounds this morning. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. Yes, there is fire on the mountain. 9 minutes to the top of the hour. Now let's go to other parts of the world and look at what is happening. But as I said, I will do my best as and when we have any development from Niger. Yes, we will bring in it your way. Any updates from there, we'll be bringing it your way. But a good one on the ASU strike that has been suspended. Elicit mixed reactions. What reactions? Some of the people thinking that we don't want to go in or not. Well. We'll be looking into that in a moment. So wherever you are, just stay tuned and don't touch the dial. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's move on straight to the African continent. Look at some of the stories making the rounds there. Now, in Burkina Faso, a national meeting opens today in Burkina Faso to appoint a transitional president 2 weeks after a second coup in 8 months brought to power Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Now, whose supporters want him to be appointed despite his stated desire not to be. The meetings will bring together representatives of the army and police, customary and religious organizations, civil society, trade unions, parties, internationally displaced victims of the jihadist attacks that have hit Burkina since 2015. According to the chairman of the organizing committee, Colonel Major Celestine Kampori, the objective is to examine and adopt the transitional charter, designate a transitional president in accordance with the charter, and collect any proposal for the smooth running of the transition. On January 24, soldiers led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sadugo Damiba and group in a junta called the Patriotic Movement for Safeguard and Restoration, the MPSR, overthrew President Rockmark Christian Kabore, who was accused of incapacity in the face of jihadist attacks that have multiplied in Burkina. The attacks did not stop in 8 months, and in view of the constant deterioration of the situation, a new Bosch took place on September 30, which brought to power a young 34-year-old Captain Ibrahim Traore in order to refocus the transition on security emergencies, according to the junta. Now, officially appointed president shortly after taking power, Captain Traore said he will only carry out current affairs until a new civilian or military transitional president was appointed through a national conference. Why continue? He told a radio station. He said, assuring that his priority was the anti-jihadist struggle and the development of Burkina. So, do you think we're going to be seeing that in Burkina Faso? Well, we could. That's the first time, one of the first times where we've seen somebody, or maybe in the past where we had former the late Jerry John Rawlings when he took power, and then that's June 4, 1979, and there's few months on along the line just handed over to a civilian government, but had to come back again. So we just see something of that template being played here. So maybe he doesn't want to. He wants someone else to continue with it. Maybe he's sitting along the lines and just watching or monitoring, and then as and when he thinks that no, things are not taken along, just jump back in there and with the support of the people, bring about some changes there. But what do you think? Yeah, more is going to be coming your way. It is all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds on the African continent. Kenya denies defaulting on China railway debt. Well, the Chinese, when you owe them. Now, Kenya on Thursday denied it had defaulted on interest repayments on a loan advanced by China for the construction of a railway line from the port city of Mombasa to that opened in 2017. The 5 billion project financed 90% by China replaced the so-called Lunatic Express, a line built more than a century ago by colonial power Britain, which was notorious for lengthy delays and breakdowns. Now, Kenya's Business Daily reported that the government failed to repay interest on the loan in the financial year ended June, attracting a fine of 1.312 billion Kenyan shillings, which is $10.8 million. Now, but Treasury Cabinet Secretary Uko Yatani rejected the report as misinformation, saying the financial position of the East African economic powerhouse was sound and robust. Currently snaking from Mombasa via the capital Nairobi to the Rift Valley town of Naivasha, it is planned to eventually link Uganda, Rwanda, South Sudan, Burundi, and Ethiopia. The railway was to be managed by the Chinese contractor for 5 years before being handed over to the Kenyan government. Are they going to be taking? Were they going to be taking the proceeds of that, or just managing it? Well, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is some of the stories making the rounds on the African continent this morning. So stay tuned. Now, still on the African continent, bringing you everything that you need to know there. Renewed ethnic clashes in Sudan South have killed at least 4 people. A tribal leader and a medical source has said yesterday. Violence broke out between members of the Hausa people and rival groups, most notably the Al Hamaj tribe in the Wad Al Mahir village east of the city of Rosaires in the southern Blue Nile state. Now, 4 people were killed and multiple houses were burned. That said Mohammed Nuruddin, the Hausa tribal leader, he says the fighting is still ongoing. A medical source at the Wad al-Mahi hospital confirmed that 4 bodies had arrived along with multiple wounded at the facility, which is severely unequipped. Now, the affiliation of the victims were not immediately clear. Those are some of the stories making the rounds there. One more, and then we can move on from there, go to Ghana to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds there as well. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, in Cameroon, impassable roads, flooded houses and schools and fields submerged following heavy rains. The scenery in Cameroon's northern town of Yagoua is one of devastation. Now, since August, the far north region has been experiencing floodings caused by heavy rainfalls, the overflowing of rivers, and the breaching of dikes. The Minister of Territorial Administration visited the disaster-stricken region on Wednesday. This year's flood have been particularly devastating. The world's weather forecasters had already predicted that there will be a lot of flooding, Paul Otanga Inji said, but we had no idea how bad it will get. The waters have risen to more than 1.5 meters, which is quite irregular, and he said that the last time this department experienced such a tragedy was in 2012. 10 years ago, around 20,000 people were affected by the floods and 12 died. Now, what are they going to put in place to forestall whatever losses that is taking place or that might take place? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, one story from Mali, and then we can go to Ghana. An explosion killed at least 11 people on a bus in central Mali on Thursday, a region regularly rocked by jihadist violence, according to a security source. We have just transferred 9 bodies to the clinic, and it's not yet. We have just transferred 9 bodies to a clinic, and it's not yet. And it's not over yet. Now, Musa Husseini of the local Bandiangra Youth Association has said earlier, a police officer who spoke on condition of anonymity gave a provisional toll of 11 dead and many seriously injured. Mali is struggling with a long jihadist insurgency that has claimed thousands of lives and forced hundreds of thousands from their homes. Mines and improvised explosives devices, IEDs, are among the jihadist weapons of choice. They can explode on impact or be detonated remotely. A report by the UN mission in Mali, MINUSMA, found that as of August 31, mines and IEDs caused 72 deaths. Most of the victims are soldiers, but a quarter are civilians, it said. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to a minute after 12. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and once we come back, we go on to look at some of the other stories making the rounds this time around in Ghana before we come to other parts of the world. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and Inter, you are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination Inter. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
You are listening to Star Radio Morning Show.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's gone 3 minutes past the top of the hour. That's 3 minutes past 12. Let me announce the lines open. If you want to hop in, hop off, whatever you want to do, feel free to do so. It is 0208-133-2257 or 58. 0208-133-2257 or 58. Those of you in the US or Canada or the Caribbean area, it is 001-718-303-2737. 001-718-303-2737. Text or WhatsApp us is 07539661744. 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is Star Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. So wherever you are, just continue to just continue to stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Okay. Yes, I'll be bringing you more. There seem to be issues going on. We'll be telling you more about it when it comes to the UK front. But let's move on to some of the stories. Let me say one story from Ghana, and then we will move on to other parts of the, because it's only at 12:30 we should be having our money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri. Now, military is solely responsible for the success or failure of the fight against Galamsey, Abu Jinapo is saying. Now, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abdullahi Jinapo, says the Ghana Armed Forces should be held responsible for either the success or the failure of the fight against Galamsey. According to him, whereas his ministry is involved with formulating the legal framework and policies that guide them, the activities of miners in the country, the military is responsible for the implementation of same. This, he says, implies that the military is supposed to act independently in policing the activities of miners in the country and preventing illegal miners from taking control of mining communities and concessions. The question that I want to put across is it the military that gives the lands to these people to go and embark on this mining, or is it the chiefs or community leaders, whichever it is? So until the military is told that, well, he there is a mining, or there is something going on here, he cannot do anything, can he? Well, so this implies that the military is supposed to act independently in policing the activities of miners in the country, preventing illegal miners from taking control of mining communities and concessions. He made these comments on a radio station yesterday, October 13. Now, this time around, it's being made abundantly clear and for that, the matter, myself as the ministry and other stakeholders are responsible for formulating the policies relating to mining, which is actually what it should be. But when it comes to the implementation of the enforcement regime, of the enforcement mechanism by the Ghana Armed Forces, they are supposed to do so independent of the ministry and of other entity, chiefs, religious leaders, influential people, journalists, members of parliament, ministers of state,
political leaders, military people are not supposed to take any instruction from anybody. I've never done that anywhere, even in the past, but I'm saying no interference whatsoever, he said. He revealed that the military has since been furnished with a full list of all licensed small-scale mining concessions and will be affecting the rest of all those who do not appear on the list but are engaging in mining activities. Now, interestingly, I think a few years back, a couple of years back, before the lockdown and all that, when there was a bit of ease when it came to the Galamsey. When I say ease, I mean people stopped. Okay, so let's say tightness in the rules, and therefore people were not allowed. We saw the water bodies, getting clearer. But now you see all the water bodies, the rivers and everything polluted, the environment being destroyed. So do you think that maybe if the Ghanaian government comes out to say, okay, you know what we're going to be doing now is that for a year we are stopping the surface mining, all the mining, we are stopping it for a year, and let's see. But the issue is wherever they go to do this mining, they will need water. And this water is some way, somehow, sucks into the soil. And then some way, somehow, as you know, a permeation, it just goes through the soil and gets through the water bodies that are across them. So how do they get those waters? Unless, of course, they are in some, Sahara Desert. And they've dug a well or something. And therefore, the water, whatever they are using to do their activity, after that will just go into the soil. And even that pollutes the soil as well. So how do we go about this? Because it seems that we are so confused. We don't know what we are doing. And as the other time, my co-presenter, Mr. Frank Davis, was saying that it looks like, the statement made by the president, not the former the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, that we are sitting on money yet we are poor, is what they are saying. That everybody's house underneath their houses are gold, and therefore all that you have to do is continue digging. Whew. When shall it all end? But we are destroying our water bodies and doing harm to ourselves. It's just a matter of time when people are giving birth and we find out that they have got all these disablement and stuff like that. Then we will know that the damage that we have caused. But by that time, those big hooks, they would have taken their money and gone away. So what do you think is the way forward for Ghana? Do you think that maybe a year's suspension of all kind of mining, apart from those who do the underground mining, do you think that will help? Let me hear from you. It is Starr Radio UK. 10 minutes past the top of the hour at a time. Starr Radio UK, the station, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But when it comes to the Galamsey issue, he's saying the government has shown negligence in Galamsey fight. The land and natural resource minister has said that, look, it's nothing to do with them. It's the soldiers who are not doing their work. I want the military high command to come out and debunk that statement that he has made. True or false? Let us hear what they think about that. And for sure, I know I'll be bringing you more on that front come Monday when we come back on Bahui time. For sure, I would have had some updates from that front. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now let's move on to other parts of the world. Some breaking news coming through. The Prime Minister is to hold news conference later today amid the report of U-turn over mini budget tax measures. Now some information that is coming streaming to me here is talking about Kwate to resign. Sunak might be brought back. So whether that is true, whether Sunak will be brought back or not, we'll be telling you more about that, or that news conference will be taking place, but we'll tell you more about what time that news conference is going to be taking place. Now, when it comes to other parts of the world, some of the stories making around there, mystery China protester sparks online hunt and tributes. We'll be giving tributes. A rare dramatic protest in Beijing that criticized President Xi Jinping has sparked online hand for the mystery protesters' identity as well as praise for the action. The protester had mounted Sitong Bridge in the Haidian district of Beijing and draped two large banners calling for an end to China's harsh zero COVID policy and the overthrow of Mr. Xi. Now, while state media have remained silent, photos and videos of Thursday's event have circulated widely online, prompting a swift crackdown by censors on social media platform and the WeChat app used by most Chinese. Now, Thursday's protest took place on the eve of a historic Communist Party Congress where Mr. Xi is due to be handed a third term as party chief, cementing his hold on power. The person also set what appeared to be car tire on fire and could be heard chanting slogans into a loud hailer. Now, reports say one person has been arrested in connection to the protest. Pictures of the incident showed police officers surrounding the person who wore a yellow hard hat and orange clothing. Now, so virtually visibility is making sure that you want to know who it is. Me, and that's what he was doing there. Report says many have praised the lone protesters' action, calling them a hero and referring to them as the new tank man, a reference to the unknown Chinese man who stood in front of tanks during the 1989 Tiananmen protest. Well, let's see what happens. Is it the orange hard hat man? Is it the one who did it? Or who is it? We'll be telling you more about that as the days and months unfolds. Okay, well, Starr Radio UK. In other parts of the world as well, we have President Trump, who now is said to be subpoenaed. Now, will he or wouldn't he? That is the question on the lips of most people. Will he or wouldn't he? Will he or wouldn't he? It is Starr Radio UK. Now, the 6th January committee did not conclude its 9th and possibly final public hearing by referring Donald Trump to the U.S. Justice Department for criminal conduct, a move many, including some members of the panel, had urged. Now, instead, it voted unanimously to subpoena the president to testify before the committee. It was effectively substituting one symbolic action for another. The decision of whether to indict the president for crimes relating to the 6th January 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol rests with the Justice Department, not Congress, and the committee's formal subpoena of the former president, while historic, is almost certain to be ignored by Mr. Trump. Now, while the committee could vote to hold the former president in contempt of Congress, the clock is ticking towards next month's midterm elections, and that what could be a Republican takeover of the House of Representatives in January, when the committee will be unceremoniously shattered. Still, the vote to call Mr. Trump to offer his defense made for a dramatic flourish at the end of what was another stinging round of accusations directed at the former president, one that include some never before seen footage from the Capitol attack and recently acquired documentary evidence. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Do you think Trump will appear or he will disappear? He will call their bluff. He won't come. I say, what can you do to me? Well. It's all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 16 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's come to the UK. Now, Royal Mail is to ask up to 10,000 jobs as losses rise. Now, I look at those stories and I think about modernization. You know, because of modernization and using of technology, we've gotten to a point where a bus that normally would have had a driver and maybe a conductor on board has now become only the driver. So automatically we got one person losing a job there. So let's say 50% of the people, unless of course they were trained to become drivers. Now this is the case where, because of modernization and competition as well, Royal Mail seem to be still using same old techniques, and it seemed not to be working very well for them. So this is the case where 10,000 jobs are to be lost. Now, what do we do under such circumstance? We will have the transport unions, also demonstrating, taking all sorts, and they said that, well, when you go to the train stations or the underground stations, and there are no, we have only the drivers who hop in and hop off. The DLR, that one, there's no driver on it, so you just hop on and then pish, you're gone. So you have the conductor coming in at times to come and check your tickets. If not, you are gone. That's it. So now, assuming we are getting to, because when people are doing business, when I invest my money in a business, I want to make profit, okay? But we are still giving a bit to the community in which you are doing that business, okay? So this is a case where I'm looking at the fact that these workers, because of modernization, and we are still stuck in our old ways, and we still want to do things the way that we were doing. I don't know how they were sorting the letters earlier on in the past. Maybe somebody put one here and go and put one there, and now you can just put the whole thing in a box or some machine, and in looking at the letters in a space of what, maybe 30 minutes, a 2 hours job has been done, cutting down costs. So you get it. So how will such organization still be able to run where we can say that people are not going to lose their jobs? Now, Royal Mail has announced plans to cut 10,000 jobs by next August, blaming ongoing strike action and rising losses at the business. The postal company said it will begin notifying workers of its plan, which includes up to 6,000 redundancies. Now, outside of the redundancies, the firm will cut roles through natural attrition. For example, by not replacing workers who leave. So you go on pension, there's nobody who is going to be replacing you. You are gone, you are gone. Yes. Let me say good afternoon to Emi South Chuku Emeka. Yeah, Chuku Emeka. He says, keep it on together with IPOP. We are going to destroy the zoo, Nigeria. Okay, thank you very much, Emmy. Okay, now moving on to continue with that story. But the firm warned that losses could reach as much as £450 million if customers move volume away for longer periods following strike actions. These are the times where I don't write letters. Now, I write letters, but I don't post letters. I don't do that. Now, it gets to Christmas that maybe at times we send cards, but now people are talking about environmental or that community, and therefore all that they want is that you just send a mail or design a nice card on your phone and just send an e-card to them. So the essence of the post is the postal is actually or mail is actually coming down. But what can government do? What can workers do? I know that HR Regional Parliament should be coming your way on Monday with Career 101. We'll be telling that we have to retrain so that you can have diverse what strategies or what professions, so that you are here as a presenter and you can still go into straight to be maybe one who is writing scripts and stuff like that. So we diversify our experience. So maybe that's what's going to be happening there. But what do you think? Well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK at 12:21 the time, the morning show, the program Archie, I Am Your Man. Now let's move on straight to some other stories making the rounds here in the UK before we bring the first part of the program to a close and take you to Kent, where our money man will be. Well, the Chancellor is saying, I'm not going anywhere. The mini budget U-turn is on table as Squatting flies home. But the Prime Minister says she's going to be making a statement amid a U-turn speculation. Do you think that they really know what they are about? Like, I'm not an economical expert. No. So we believe that somebody who is an expert will be put on there to do what they're supposed to do. The other time I was having a chat with a friend of mine, and then she was saying that, look, we have to give them the chance to test their policies that they are putting across, the financial policies that they're putting across. It could or it might yield, but we're not giving them a chance. The moment the board will say, hey, and that seems to be what is going on. But Prime Minister Liz Truss will hold a press conference later amid speculations she's going to announce a U-turn on plans to cut business taxes. Chancellor Kwesi Kwarteng has flown back early from a US trip for urgent talks with the Prime Minister. The Chancellor will not be at the Prime Minister's side when she makes a statement in Downing Street. Ditching a planned rise in corporation tax rates was central to Ms. Truss' Tory leadership pitch. A Downing Street source have said they were not commenting on a Times report which said the Chancellor was due to be sacked. Now, it comes after the government's mini budget spooked the markets and sparked a revolt among Tory MPs. For days, Ms. Truss has faced calls to drop parts or all of her economic plan to calm market turbulence and reassure her party. Now, some Tory MPs have discussed options to remove Ms. Truss as Prime Minister, laying bare divisions within the party, which has been in power for 12 years. Ms. Truss has already U-turned on her plan to scrap the top rate of income tax, and some Tory MPs believe another change, of course, is inevitable. A further U-turn is likely to see as a blow to Ms. Truss' political authority only 39 days after she became Prime Minister. Now, Labour's Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves said a humiliating U-turn is necessary after the government plunged our economy into chaos and crisis with Truss' discredited trickle-down approach. Now, Ms. Truss' pledge to cut taxes was at the heart of the economic agenda that won her the Tory leadership at the start of September. The mini budget announced by Mr. Kwarteng on the 23rd of September included 45 billion pounds of tax cuts and an energy package worth 60 billion over 6 months, partly funded by borrowing. There were few details on how the government will fund the package, which left financial markets reeling. Now, sent the pound plummeting and forced the Bank of England to bail out pension funds. The Chancellor was due to make financial statement on the 31st of October, but it's unclear whether that will change or not. Now, this week, Mr. Kwarteng had been in Washington, D.C. for a meeting of global finance ministers at the International Monetary Fund's annual meeting. Now, speaking about the change in his travel plans, a source close to the Chancellor said he really wants to engage not only with the government colleagues but also MPs over the financial plans. Earlier, a Downing Street source said the Prime Minister thought the Chancellor was doing an excellent job and they are in lockstep. Now, meanwhile, financial markets rallied and the pound held firm as speculation mount about a possible U-turn over the mini budget. The Bank of England has been buying government bonds known as gifts to try to stabilize their price and prevent a sell-off that could put some pension funds at risk. But the support is due to come to an end today. Well, these are the stories making the rounds across the globe and home here in the UK. Do you think U-turn again? It's okay, U-turn is inevitable. And do you think that the Chancellor is going to be sacked or not? There has been speculation saying that, well, within Liz Truss is going to, fall on her sword or eat a humble pie by calling on Rishi Sunak, the former Chancellor of the Exchequer, to come back to come and do his job. But I saw some other this information saying that Rishi Sunak said that no. What do you think? Well. This is why I bring the first part of the program to a close, and we'll be taking you to Kent, where our money man, Mr. Tabiri, is going to bring you the money hour. So wherever you are, stay tuned. Say glue to your sets. Don't touch the dial. Stay tuned. I'll be with you in a moment. Enjoy this music as well from the Zongo Man.
share $10, and one man who gets. Hey, hey, hey. 10 men share $10, and one man who gets. It's a disgrace. Where is the dollar? Where is the dollar? Where is the dollar?
important that we get the right information, to see what support systems are out there, what are some of the things that we can do to reduce our bills, to save some money. And the place to do that will be this through Starr Radio UK on a Friday afternoon.
Yes, listeners, as we assured you, that is the man who can guide you. All right. Now, so let's talk about bills here. So I was sitting down quietly, just reflecting and looking at some of the consumption that goes on at home. And I'm looking at, where do you cut? Where do you start from? So looking at the bills, I mean, generally, where do you think people can cut down on some of their bills? And then we come to how helps that are available.
Yeah, so I think the first thing we need to look at is what support is out there. By all means, energy bills is very topical at the moment. So anything you can do at this time to reduce your energy bill. Luckily, the sun has been on and we have actually been too hot, so most people have not put their heating on. But we have to cook to eat and all that, so we're still using gas and electrics at home. We all have to be mindful of our usage. If we haven't taken any particular attention at all of the usage that we make at home, then this is the time that we have to. So if there are any rooms with light left on, you know, especially if you have kids at home, they are more likely to leave things light on in rooms even when they are not there. So you have to be mindful, and we have to educate the whole household, especially about the need to, you know, reduce the bills so that everybody is conscious of. So you turn off lights, you turn off gadgets, you know, if you can, don't leave some gadgets on standby, because over time they all draw some electricity or draw power, which increase your bill. So use the various tips that are available, basically to try and conserve or reduce your usage, and that's one way to do it. Another way would be also to see and understand what help is out there for your energy bills. We know that the government has scrapped the previous support that is announced to give £200 of energy loan, you know, to reduce our bills, which would have been repayable over 4 years. This has been replaced by a £400 discount on our energy bills in autumn, which we are expected to receive. So we all have to make sure that when you get your bill, this is being reflected. This is going to be applied across board on all bills. So let's look out for that to make sure we receive this credit on our bills.
Now, interestingly, one question that seems to be going through the minds of people is, if I can't pay, what can I do? Because at the moment, as you say, because we are in summer and this is, so people are not turning on their heaters that and the electric, they are not turning those on. But that is going to come autumn, winter. Now, and people cannot pay. What can they do?
So if you cannot pay, I can assure you, you will not be the only one in that situation. You know, in these kind of situations, the only thing you do is to speak to your energy supplier. Obviously, after you have exhausted all other support mechanisms in place, i.e. universal credit, pension credit, tax credit, housing benefit support, and all that. After you've exhausted all of that, if you're still struggling, speak to your energy supplier. They always have support systems in place that they will be able to speak to you or able to direct you as to what you need to do. The best way of dealing with this is to communicate and not disregard the bills that come through the door, or ignore the warning letters, that rather makes the situation worse. And you would get letters and things that increase your anxiety in this times, and that is not very good for your mental health. The good thing to do is to speak to your energy supplier directly, explain to them your situation. They would go through some form of income and expenditure assessment to see how much disposable income you've got, and if they're able to establish that indeed you need help, they might be able to do something, even give you a discount or write some of these bills out. There are various things that are available, but you need to communicate with them.
Well, so now, listeners, you are listening to Star Radio UK, the morning show with our money man on the money hour. He's Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services. Now, when it comes to all your accounting issues, name it, he's there to help you out. Okay, you go in, you just say Star Radio UK, you get a discount for that as well. Those who have done that can attest to that. So please make sure, in the abundance of water, you not become a fool who is thirsty. All right, then, and we are putting information through. Today we are looking at bills and income support available in these dire or challenging times or difficult times, as some others are putting it. Now, Mr. Tabiri, now people are looking at credit ratings, and here, if you have to go for any credit, how you've actually managed your income and your outflows is what pertains to it. And so people are of the view that if it happens that I'm not being able to pay my bill, and I go to the supplier and say that, look, this is a challenge that I have, and sometime it might end up affecting their credit ratings. Is that a possibility?
No, not at all. If it affects your credit rating when you default on loans and agreements that you've got. So if you approach them and speak to them, then they are more likely to deal with you on a level where they would not resort to putting a bad credit on your credit file. So yes, so it still remains the same, that the best way to deal with this is to communicate with them, and this should not affect your credit file. So long as you have some arrangement, some agreement with them, they will not do that to your file.
Okay. So it's very important, if you're listening to us, to get in touch with them, get the necessary help that you need. Now, you were talking about some available income support as well, because people, you go to some of the supermarkets, you look at things that is going on. I get worried, because I like going to the supermarket a lot of times, looking at things, looking at how people behavior and stuff like that, and you can see that people are under pressure. But you were talking about the fact that there are other income support available. Which are some of them, sir?
Yes, definitely. So we'll go through a few of them. Some of them we've mentioned before. If you are in receipt of any disability benefits, then remember you have a £650 cost of living payment for disabled people who also receive means tested benefits. So these payments, I would expect that by this time most people would have received their £650 payment. So if you haven't received it, then you need to look and see and ask the questions and find out from HMRC when you'll be receiving this. Also to remember that there will be an extra one-off £150 payment to those who are receiving this disability cost of living payment. So that is a top-up to take them up to £800. Okay. And then also there's winter fuel payments and pensioner cost of living payment. So these are help available to help our pensioners. So in the winter months, pensioners can get between £100 and £300 to pay specifically heating bills. And they would also receive an extra one of £300 pensioner cost of living payment which will be paid as an automatic top-up to the winter fuel payment. So this would go directly to, mitigate some of the rising cost of the fuel payment, which is expected to hit this winter. And that is the government support that is available to help through the winter period when the energy bills or the energy price cap, which is expected to increase in October this year. There's also, we need to remember, there's also the council tax rebate. A few people have still not received their rebate, either because they have not completed the right forms, or they are not aware or have not responded to their councils. As at the moment, it's estimated that 4 out of 5 households in England have not received their £150. 4 out of 5 households have received their council tax rebates. So we have 1 in 5 who have not received theirs. So if you haven't, you need to get in touch with your council and see how you can make this claim and get your £150 back. Every little helps, as they say in these times, so you can get some relief. Then for those on receiving certain benefits, there will be £25 extra a week if you are receiving certain benefits available during the winter period when the temperature is 0 or below for more than 7 days. So you need to check with HMRC if you are on certain benefits, whether you qualify to receive this £25 extra a week. This is expected to come in the winter months, and we hope that this would also help people to cushion themselves against this high inflation and high cost of living that we are all experiencing.
Okay. Listeners, Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, our money man, who this afternoon is with us, bringing us some information that will help you go through these challenging times. Namely, we're looking at some bills and the income supports that are available to you wherever you might find yourself. So just stay with us. We're going back to him for him to put any other information that he has across. But one question that someone is asking is there any help for businesses?
Yeah, so businesses at the moment, as we know, we came out of the COVID support schemes. Businesses have not had any extension of support being made out to them at the moment. As we know, the elections for the next leader is here with us, and one of the topical issues at the moment is
broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
What you need to support your business, and if you definitely need some funding, you would want to look into how you can qualify for these loans that are available.
Okay. Well, listeners, interesting help available for you. As I've said all the time, and I continue to say it, don't be a fool. Excuse my words, there might be too harsh, but don't be a fool and get thirsty while there is abundance of water. There is help. These are difficult and challenging times, but hey, do your best, get help as and when you need it. But we got our money man who can help you, advise you when it comes to your accounting and all that stuff. Yeah, whether it's business, whether it's self-employed, name it, he's there to help you on that front. So we'll go to him once again for him to run up the discussions that we had, and he's going to put his contact details across. And please make sure you get in touch with him. Over to you, Mr. Tabiri.
Yeah, so we should also be aware that we know that the government has provided household support fund to councils. So really, if you are struggling, in an answer to your question previously, you can also speak to your council, because they have some funds that they are able to disperse on a discretionary basis for essential daily costs like energy bills. So, for people, recipients, it would include pensioners and families with children. If you approach your council and say you want to access the household support fund, they will do the necessary checks and make sure that you are adequately supported. So let's not lose out on these support systems that are available. One thing that we can also do is that currently we have 0% VAT on energy saving materials. So it will be cheaper for you to install energy saving materials such as thermal insulation or solar panels with 0% back for the next 5 years. And this, we know, would also help to improve energy efficiency in your homes and keep your heating bills all down. So these are some of the things that you can be looking at to see, to be able to reduce your bills. There are things like, looking to see things like phone and broadband costs going up everywhere. It's important that people check and look at what's on the market to see if there's any possibility of switching to another lower tariff rate. Look at your contract to see if there's you're nearing renewal of your contract. Then you'll be looking to get the best rates out there on the market. Another thing that I would also mention is, many water companies run hardship schemes or fund independent charitable trusts, which can help with your water bills. So look into this. Ask your water provider if you are struggling with a bill, to see what schemes or what support they can offer to you. So these are some of the things that if you don't ask, really, you won't get. But if you're struggling and you let them know, you communicate, then they'll be able to support you. And lastly, I would say that that TV license fee has been frozen at £150 for the year until 2024. So this means that households will not see any change to license fees until the 1st of April 2024, and this should go a long way to help, reduce our bills. There are lots more things that we all need to know and understand and try and use to our benefit. And the only place to do that, at the moment, I'll direct you to Starr Radio UK every Friday afternoon at 12:30 p.m. We try and bring you money-saving tips, try and bring you tax-saving tips, anything that we can find information that will help households especially, we will do so. If you have any questions, need any help or assistance, I'm ready to speak to you on 079-6124-8834. 079-6124-8834, or you can email me at dan@gilaccountants.com. dan@gilaccountants.com.
Well, listeners, Mr. Dan Tabiri. But Mr. Tabiri, somebody's asked another question before you go. He's asking when he talked about water usage, and he's thinking that's getting a dishwasher or a dish cleaner. What do you need? A dish cleaning machine, okay? And just washing your stuff manually. Which one saves money? Let me put it that way. Because it's going to save energy and it's going to save water if it's good. What do you think?
Definitely, dishwasher would because you're using water, using electricity as well. So there's double bills there. It depends on the household. So if you are washing manually, you're using water as well. Sometimes, but that is under your control. Or if you're washing with your hands, it all depends on at this time, people can decide to switch off their washing machines and do it manually.
Oh my goodness!
if it helps, you reduce your energy bills, if anything at all, even if it's not water. But if you are washing with your hands, obviously you can also regulate the amount of water you use to wash.
Yeah. Wow, listeners, make sure that you don't miss next week's. And then anyone that previously you've missed as well, you go to our social media platform. It's all there, and it's on our podcast as well. So please make sure you take advantage of the information that has been put across. Mr. Tabiri, let me say thank you very much for this wonderful presentation once again.
You are most welcome. It's been a pleasure speaking to you and your lovely listeners this afternoon.
All right, then. Have a lovely afternoon, and we'll catch up later, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is where we bring the program to a close for today. Well, the cost of living crisis still goes on. What can you do? Well, as I did say earlier on during the course of the program, we have number 10 that is supposed to have a press conference. That is the Prime Minister. It's going to be making a statement. At the moment, things seem to be just there. We're not very sure exactly what is happening. We don't know what time exactly is all going to be taking place. So I will bring the program to a close, but whatever happens, God willing, we'll be back on Monday to have a lesson to wait. Once again, let me say thank you very much, and God bless you, and see you all. Enjoy this song from the Zungo Man whilst I take my leave, and see you all on Monday. Bye bye for now.
And one man who gets hey, hey, hey.